Hey guys, it's Rick. I'm back again for another Cinema of Frankenstein film from 1910 to now. And this time we're looking at Abbot and Costello meets Frankenstein. This is a horror comedy. So House of Dracula is ended. It's 3 years now. Hasn't been any horror films from Universal. Abbott and Costello is the most popular act they have, and they decide to team up with the monsters. The story focuses on Count Dracula has the Frankenstein monster in his control. He wants to replace his brain with Lou Costello's brain to make him a more easily dominated creature. The problem is Lawrence Talbot, the Wolfman, has chased him from Europe to America. He's hot on his tail. First off, let's start with the cast. You got Bela Lugosi playing Dracula again. He only played Dracula 2 times, but he did play vampires many times. You got Bud Abbott, Lou Costello for the comedy side of it. Of course, Lon Chaney Jr. returns as the Wolfman, and Glenn Strange is back as the Frankenstein monster. I'm glad to say that Glenn Strange has a lot more to do on this one. He actually has some speaking parts. First time Frankenstein has spoke in a very long time in the film, since Ghost of Frankenstein, when it was Igor talking as the monster. But he's got more to do here. A lot of great comedy bits. They worked a few old bits in. There was a candle scene from, I believe it was Time of Our Lives. I can't hold that. I think it was Hold That Ghost, if I'm not mistaken. But there's a candle scene that a candle sits on Dracula's casket every time Lou Costello is reading about Dracula, and Dracula's trying to get out of the casket, making the candle move and slide. Just a lot of great bits. Of course, Bud Abbott never sees the monsters when they appear. Lou always does. I mean, and the cool thing about this is they didn't make fun of the monsters. The monsters were played straight, but they worked the comedy through, and it really meshed well. It's considered to be one of the greatest horror comedies, or if not the greatest horror comedy ever made. In fact, it was a smash hit. 2001, the Library of Congress preserved it for the National Film Registry, and on the AFI's 100 funniest movies, it ranks 56. So, I mean, its legacy has continued. It was a big one that we used to watch in my house. My mom, turned me on to Abbott and Costello. This one of the earliest films I've ever seen with them. I've always liked this movie. I mean, you got Charles Barton directing the film. It's 82 minutes. He'd actually directed 9 Abbott and Costello films, so they were very familiar with his work. And the cast seemed to have a fun time. Bela Lugosi liked portraying Dracula and thought the character was paid with respect. Glenn Strange said it was one of the best work he ever had done at that time frame. Lon Chaney Jr. was a little on the fence about it. He thought the monsters were made of buffoons, but if you really pay attention to it, they weren't. It was straight and it was played well, it's just an enjoyable movie, a classic. I will link a trailer down below, so you can check it out. And it wraps up the Universal side of the Frankenstein monster. So from here on out, we'll go into some other classic films. Hope you're enjoying these videos. Take care, and go watch a movie.